Pricing per event. So I get a lot of performers asking me who the end client is before they're willing to give me a quote. That is really, really annoying, in my opinion. I find that a little bit offensive that just because it's a corporate event versus a wedding, you charge more. Or just because it's a wedding, you charge more versus a council event. If you're providing the same quality of service, the same level of service throughout all these different types of event, I do think you should be priced the same. Now, a lot of people do disagree with me on that, and I end up in many, many arguments for that. But you can price per event. You can charge less for your cabarets, you can charge more for your weddings, you can charge more for your corporates, you can charge more. You can go the money grabbing route on that way. That's absolutely fine. Now, which way would you do it though? Would you have your bottom line price and you price up to it? So say your minimum price is £200, that's the price you do cabarets for, but you double that price when you do a corporate. Is that a realistic way to work for it?
Differentiate by offering different services.
You could differentiate by offering different services. I'm looking at purely a number on a sheet though. So what you can do is do this in reverse. If you start with a high price point, you start with, say, your price is 400 and you reduce your price for your other events, that's a much nicer way to work with people. They feel like they're getting something special, whereas if you double your price for someone, then you make them feel not special all of a sudden. You make them feel like shit because you're like, oh, you don't want to work with me, you don't want to perform for us. Whereas if you go the reverse route, go with a high price point and then lowering your price for those events where you actually want to perform at them. You know, your council events, your fun events, your cabarets, your scratch nights, whatever. So that's just a little way of doing that in opposite, so it's a much nicer working at events. Any questions on that before I move on to the next one? No?
Go,
So, 13 minutes.
Yep.
10 slides. 5 slides. 5 slides. Okay, so agents, we do talk to each other about price occasionally. It doesn't come up in an actual conversation as, oh, what does this person charge you? It can just come up quite naturally in a conversation. I've had conversations with quite a few agents and they've gone, oh yeah, I've managed to book her and she costs this much. And I've gone, wait a minute, she charged me twice that. What? So these things can happen. So try with your agents especially to have nice, consistent prices. Try not to vary your prices too much to agents because it can come and bite you back on the arse with it. And then you just stop working with those people if you get annoyed by them that many times. Go on.
I think it might be said earlier, but say starting out in the corporate market, I'm going to start with the low-end agents. I would imagine as I'm working my way up to the high-end stuff. I imagine the low-end agents aren't going to be getting me those higher gigs, so I'm going to start working my way up the agent ladder. Do I just say to the lower agents, I'm not going to work for you anymore, or I'm too expensive for you?
Send them an email saying your price has increased.
Yeah? Okay.
I think for some reason we're really against like yearly price increases. If you've not noticed, everything in the world's getting more expensive every year.
Yeah.
For some reason, the entertainment industry, that's not happening. And that's worrying as hell because inflation's going to catch up with us eventually. So I'm all for everyone just sending an email out every year going, my price went up 6% in line with inflation this year or something like that.
Obviously we're not colluding, but what date would we send that email?
6th of January. If I get a mass email now on 6th of January saying my price is going up, go on, Ted.
It's about public pricing and having a website price and charging an agent obviously the same price. But then what if a client finds you on your website, you don't know it's a client that has gone through the agent. How are you supposed to know whether
your promotional work and such should be in a way that they cannot find you. Unless they're very smart and they're putting a lot of effort, make your promotional work super hard for you to be able to found. I'm sure Gemma mentioned about like unbranded YouTube channels and things like that.
Yeah.
Keep it up.
Reverse image search on Google.
Not a lot of people know about that though. Like, I mean, yes, if your prices are there, yes, they will realise. But the problem is, say you work with a live network publicly display all prices. If another agent is charging more, they're going to find out your price through a reverse Google image searching and going on a live network anywhere.
Yeah.
The live
That's
network
fine.
charges quite a lot of commission.
Yeah, they charge like 30-40% of this, something like that.
Which is a lot more than a lot of, well, a lot of things that I'm aware of that charge. Like,
Yeah.
I'm the most expensive on a live network.
I mean, Sternberg have been known to double prices. Yes, I've seen accidentally been sent the invoice that was going to the client or the contract that was going to the client. It's like, what? They're paying that much? Fuck. So yeah, a live network do charge quite a high percentage. So yes, it would make your price appear better. It depends what marketing strategy you're going for though. If you're going super heavy with wanting to get direct bookings, then it doesn't really matter because you're not going to work with the agents a huge amount anyway then. If you're wanting to work with agents, maybe publicly displaying your prices is not valuable at all. Maybe also it's better to just have your website redirect to your agent. You know, similar to how Fools work and stuff, just have your website, as soon as they click contact me, pops up to your agent's website. If that's how closely you're wanting to work with some agents, that is a possibility. Some agents will do that. Not all agents. I don't know if you do that with anyone, do you, Gemma?
I have a few people that like would say, could you store my prop? And then I'll have my installation team like install the prop, do the bookings, and they just don't want to do it, and then I'll just book them for the job.
Ah, okay.
There's a few agents like Vicky Butterfly just like her moon, you know,
Yeah.
performer and they don't want to deal with the logistics. But I'm not a sole agent
Nah,
for anyone because unless I can give them 5 gigs a week.
it's not worth
I
it for
do a lot of like multiple of those.
Yeah, but a lot of the time it can be not worth
them
it.
working for anyone else.
Yeah.
Because it's their property.
So now, pricing to agents as well. Would you offer a discount to an agent? Would you offer a slightly better price?
Yeah.
Opposed to
You can. You can.
Consistent work and they have to make
Yes.
I'm not talking about giving agent exclusivity and giving them a different price based on that. I'm talking, does your public persona charge more than your agents pay? This sort of leads into
provide volume.
exactly. This leads in a bit to what you said, Zen, because if my price is higher, say I charge $4.50 on my website, but through my agents they only pay $3.50. About equals out, right? Yeah? About right. Now, giving your agents a discount, I'm not saying do it, but I am saying it is a good way to make their margins better and make things work better. Now, with agents, if they ask for a discount on your first ever day, your first day working for them, probably not an agent you want to keep working for. They're probably going to run you into the ground with asking for discounts all the time. However, if you have built a really good rapport with an agency, say you've been working with this agency all the time for years, and then they come up to you and say, oh, this client's just not got the budget, but they're a really good client, we really want them, it's going to be all over TV, would you do it for us? And you go, yeah, go on then. Yeah? Doing that can build you even more rapport with that agent, and that rapport will lead to more work. You know, so doing those odd favors occasionally, if those favors become more than the good gigs, don't work with the agent. But if those favors are few and far between and they really help to strengthen your relationship with that agent, it can help you. Any question on that before I move on?
Sorry,
So now-
can you just clarify, when you say we shouldn't like massively change our prices between agents, just clarify what you mean by that, because some people think, oh shit, I can't charge 300 as opposed to 350 certain agents, you know?
No, so it's like, so, okay, so myself, Gemma and Tor all get the same enquiry. We all go to you asking for an LED hoop show. You charge Gemma 400, me 350, and you charge Flambeer 300. when we all come to quoting on that job, all of a sudden our agency fees and percentages are regardless, because the initial fee we got, so it's not down to our service as an agent, it's down to all of a sudden our prices, because the prices will vary hugely at that point. And it's the exact same act. And the client, if they're shopping around, will notice that straight away. So it's just be consistent. Say if you're getting the exact same inquiry, charge the exact same price. Yeah? Is that clear?
Yeah.
Cool. Was it another one? No? Cool. 5 minutes. Not going to happen. So price per location. Now, this is a supply and demand thought process. Where there is a huge amount of supply, you can charge, you have to charge less because there's 50 other people doing your job there. If there is not a lot of supply, you can charge more. Say performers out in like rural Scotland or something like that, they could be charging more because there's not another performer for 100 miles. At the end of the day though, that's not actually happening. I actually find that a lot of rural Scottish performers are a lot cheaper, but that concept does not sit well with me for some reason. Because this should be a supply and demand model. The more performers that are in your city, the lower your price point ends up being. However, the demand can also increase. You know, if you're in a big city, there's going to be much higher demand. That might increase at the same rate as the amount of performers do increase as well. So that's a pretty brief one.